Oh man, if you own cryptocurrency, you're not going to want to miss this video. This is not good news. Markets here are starting to fall, but more importantly, the thesis which I was sharing with you guys over the last couple of days is starting to prove itself right. Over the weekend, you'll remember the video where I was walking in the park, reflecting on the charts, and I was worried. Why was I worried? Because markets, I felt, could hugely rotate risk off based on the fears that we would not get an interest rate cut. And this fear is starting to play through the markets here right now. I'm going to break down exactly what this means for the Bitcoin chart. What does this mean for your altcoins and crypto? And a lot more. Smash up the likes. Do not forget to subscribe. If you want to trade alongside us, you can do so. ijazcrypto.com/TG. Our Telegram community link is in the description. Now, as you can see here, I'm starting off with the graph of the dollar index. The dollar index, which I said has to go to the downside if altcoins and Bitcoin want to do well. It continues to climb here on the 4-hourly chart, having an extremely powerful move here in the later part of the day here today as US markets open, panicking. Now, why are US markets nervous? You will remember that the market, the stock market, the jobs market, everything is coming in very hot. We covered off last week the non-farm payrolls, and this is what spooked me over the weekends as I was reflecting on Friday. We got that 353,000 new jobs created. This is a problem. If the economy runs really hot, wages will go up. What happens when wages go up, guys? Remember, we've covered this off. When wages go up, you get something called a wage price spiral, and a wage price spiral sees inflation go up again. Remember, the last 18 months has seen this battle against inflation. And what has Jerome Powell done to tackle inflation? Raise interest rates at the steepest level we've seen in over 40 plus years and keep it there. Now, if he cannot bring inflation down, guess what he's going to do? He's certainly not going to do a rate cut. He's going to keep rates higher for longer. And stock markets will not like this. Risk markets will not like this. Crypto will not like this. So this is a major problem now. And the stock market, which has been hugely bullish in the last couple of weeks, hitting record all-time highs, is starting to call off and go, hey, guys, what is going on? Because if you take a look, markets now had previously 50% of the market thought by March we would get our first rate cut. Now the vast majority, 85% of the market, is pricing in that, oh, maybe we're not going to get that rate cut. Maybe March again will be another pause because Jerome Powell said that as much in his last press conference last week. So the market is sitting here going, okay, this whole excitement we were having around 2024 where we thought there was going to be lots of rate cuts, at least 3, and inflation's going to come down and we're going to go through a printing cycle again. They're starting to reevaluate that. Does that mean that the Fed will not eventually print? Of course they will. Eventually they'll damage things enough that they will have to cut the interest rates and they'll have to start easing policy again and eventually at some point printing money again as well, because that is what the Fed do best, which is why we love Bitcoin, which is why we like crypto. But the timing is important, right? Market participants and investors are trying to time it. But right now it's proving very difficult to time because the economy is so hot. So today you can see the US 10-year government bond climb here, spike really high here. You can see here, boom on the open, boom, all the way up here to 4.16, which is a big spike up for the US 10-year. Now, when do you flock to the US 10-year government bond? Why would an investor flock to the US 10-year government bond? They do so when risk rotates off. When you don't want to take risk. When you don't want to take risk, you go away from your cryptos and your crazy Tesla stocks and your high growth tech companies and you want to go somewhere safe. And where does everyone go? To the US dollar. Let's get some government bonds. Let's sit in the dollar. Now, when that happens, that is when you start to see the dollar index do really, really well, right? Because people are demanding the dollar. And so this is why the dollar index is such a key indicator for us to know where crypto is going. And so when you look at this, it owns its 4-hourly EMA ribbon right now. But more importantly, look at this. This is worrying for me. This is worrying for me that not only has the dollar index reclaimed its daily EMA ribbon last week, but it's now retested and boom, bounce with power. This is going to become more and more of a problem for us here on crypto, so we need to keep an eye on this. Now, if we go to the weekly chart, you'll see exactly what I mean as well. The dollar index has also reclaimed its weekly EMA ribbon last week on the close on Friday, but now opened up very, very powerfully here as well. So this is not great for us. We need to, as quickly as possible, before the EMA ribbon, you see how the color lines are starting to flip? Before they start to flip, we need to set dollar index to the downside. And that's only going to come if markets expect to we're going to get that rate cut, expects we're going to get some bullish news in terms of some weakening of the labor market, weakening of CPI, and a clue that Jerome Powell's going to cut interest rates. But right now we're getting the opposite. And that is why we've got to be very, very careful. This is why here on Bitcoin, I continue to wait for a dip. It's proving itself very, very strong right now, right? Bitcoin's showing strength, but it's also showing indecision as well. And you can see the RSI is still high. These RSI levels, as you can see there on the bottom of the chart, they're not hugely low, right? We're still hovering around the overbought territory here on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, we've not had a meaningful pullback. A meaningful pullback is for you to come in at least into your EMA ribbon at 38,000, maybe a bit lower, coming into kind of 36 range. That would be a meaningful pullback, right? But we've not had that here on Bitcoin. So my bias has to have me prepared here for lower price points, but at the same time, I'm super impressed by Bitcoin's strength. And it's no surprise that Bitcoin is strong when you see stats like this, right? Remember that I said that once the buy the rumor, sell the news calms down around the Bitcoin spot ETF, we're going to get some really good times in the rest of 2024. We're starting to see that happening. Look at this chart here. Look at the weekly inflows and outflows. Grayscale sold over 926 million US dollars worth. So that's basically $1 billion worth of outflows through just Grayscale, right? Now, that fortunately has been netted off by the inflows we are seeing. So yes, we lost $1 billion from Grayscale, but 880 million came in through iShares. Fidelity brought in over $500 million itself, and then all the other bits and pieces as well. So net, when you cancel it all out, 700 million in just the last week has flowed into Bitcoin. And this is just the start, in my opinion, of what it will mean when institutional money seriously flows into crypto. It's just a matter of time. Like I've said time and time again, everybody being impatient, institutional money takes time to maneuver. It doesn't maneuver overnight like you and I can just move some money on a wallet. They're big players. They're going to vote. They're going to do this. They're going to have a board meeting, blah, 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 blah. Right? It takes time for them to do that. They have to speak to their advisors. It doesn't happen quickly. So be very, very patient to see the real effects of the ETF come over the next few months. Now, that being said, Bitcoin started off the day really strong, right? We saw a really strong start to the day, having a nice pump. And it's only in the second part of the day where the US markets have opened a little bit tentative, like I showed you, that it's just given up all those gains here. And so the question now will be, what does this mean for altcoins? Because when Bitcoin was running, altcoins ran powerfully. Bitcoin was up 1%, but altcoins were running some of them 5, 6, 7, 8%, which is really, really positive because like I've said, altcoins are just waiting for direction. They're just waiting for Bitcoin to give it permission. And as soon as Bitcoin has its move up to its next leg, up towards 50 and beyond, altcoins will rip. Now, incidentally, Chainlink, if you guys were following my updates, which is why it's so important that you follow my updates, is on an absolute tear. If you guys followed my trade here on Chainlink, let me pull this up for you guys so you can see. Look at this beautiful trade that I shared with you guys here on Chainlink. Beautiful, beautiful break of a symmetrical triangle. I shared this as it was breaking out, and had you have taken this trade, you guys would be sitting pretty if you took the profits at the top, 23 to 21% spot returns on a big crypto market cap altcoin, right? And this is something I do day in, day out. If you want to learn how to trade, jump into our Telegram community. Link will be the very first one in the description, and learn how to trade. Right? Trading can be hugely profitable. And the beautiful thing about trading is you don't need the market to be on your side necessarily. You can trade as long as there is volatility. And that is how I build my wealth through crypto. I trade, and then the profits of those trades I funnel into my long-term investments. If you want to learn, jump into the Telegram. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you appreciate type of updates, as and when the market gives us reasons to worry, smash up the likes, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.